Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. Well, I got another story for you straight out of St. Louis County in particular. And this one has to deal with immigration and ICE. And of course, what does that mean? That a young man got detained after a traffic stop and his immigration status was not clear, and he got arrested, and it looks like he might be headed back to Mexico. But let's get into history's mysteries about a few of these presidents and this whole controversy with ICE. So let's get into this history's mysteries about Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, and Donald J. Trump. When it comes to this immigration, when it comes to this highly sensitive issue about immigration and ICE. First off, Joe Biden's administration let in 15 to 20 million illegal, unvetted immigrants into the U.S. in just 4 years for some purposeful reason. As the Democratic president, however, the irony with Joe Biden is that going all the way back to the 1980s, Senator Joe Biden is a racist and a segregationist. He was against public school integration and against busing black students to suburban white schools. How do you black Democrats forget this? Senator Joe Biden and then President Bill Clinton also signed and passed the 1994 crime bill that sent more black men to prison based on that legislation under Joe Biden and Bill Clinton's power of the pen. Kamala Harris, when she was the vice president, was supposed to be the border czar, who admitted that during her tenure as vice president, she never went to check out and analyze the Texas border at all in 4 years, where many of the illegal migrants were entering the U.S. illegally. And remember, both of her parents are immigrants. And then you got Barack Obama, who in the last 40 years is the #1 president who expelled or removed at least 3 million illegal immigrants during his 8-year tenure as president of the United States. So he removed something like 375,000 illegal immigrants a year during his 8-year tenure. That's 375,000 people a year. Nobody talks about this situation. And if anyone should have had a special place in their heart for immigrants, it should have been Barack Obama. And you might ask why? Because not only was his biological father from West Africa, from Kenya, his adopted stepfather, Lolo Soetoro, was from Indonesia. But Barack Obama removed at least 3 million illegal immigrants from the U.S. And finally, you got Donald J. Trump, who has been married 3 times, and 2 of his 3 wives are or were immigrants. His first wife, Ivana Trump, was from the Czechoslovakia, and his current wife, Melania Trump, is from Slovenia. So in all of these individuals, there seems to be a penchant for hypocrisy of humanity, both morally and ethically. There seems to be a machination of arrogance when we fail to remember that none of us today are really originally from the Americas. The first people here were the Native Americans and Africans. And when it comes to immigrants trying to become naturalized U.S. citizens, that journey can be very cumbersome when dealing with our governmental agencies. Just think about it for yourself. How hard and nerve-wracking it can be just to get your driver's license renewed or getting your plates and tags up to date on your car, going to your local DMV. all the damn paperwork you need just to prove who you are and were you born here. So it's extremely cumbersome anytime you're dealing with these governmental agencies, including the post office. You're talking about poor attitudes. They act like you're bothering them when you're asking a simple question. You're inundated with paperwork. It always provides heartburn for me anytime I have to deal with any kind of governmental agency. So what do you think it's like for some foreign-born, hardly speaking English individual to understand, galvanize, comprehend what it takes and all the paperwork it takes to become a legal citizen? It's tough for us who speak perfect English and have been here 2 and 3 and 4 generations. What do you think it's like for these immigrants who are trying to become naturalized? It's not easy. So the final thing I want to tell you also, statistically, the cumbersome about our government, the local immigration office in St. Louis, for those that don't know, is downtown on Spruce. Also, here are some statistics for you. There are 71 immigration courts operating across the U.S. And there is exactly, in the state of Missouri, there is just one immigration court in Missouri, and it's located in Kansas City, Missouri. And it typically takes 5 to 8 years to become a U.S. naturalized citizen. So if you living in Springfield, St. Louis, any of that, in order for you to get naturalized and go to court, you got to drive all the way to Kansas City. It's only one immigration court. And now that we have 15 to 20 million people, illegals here, that 5 to 8 year time period to become a naturalized citizen, they're saying now it may take up to 20 years for you to get a green card or become a naturalized citizen. The immigration courts, there are not enough of them. There are not enough immigration judges, and they have been inundated. There has been a deluge of immigrants who are trying to get in the courts, do the right thing to become naturalized citizens. This is turned into a complete governmental mess. So let's get into the story that happened right out in St. Louis County. A St. Louis County woman wants answers after her fiance, who she said has no criminal history, was detained by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Victor Lopez Delara, a mobile mechanic, was traveling for work on a Tuesday when an O'Fallon, Missouri police officer pulled him over. That's when Lopez Delara called his fiance. He was terrified. He was trying to be positive, and he was hoping that, he'd just get a ticket like everybody else. And they let him go. But unfortunately, the things escalated and they took him in. Lopez Delara's fiance spoke to St. Louis Public Radio on the condition of anonymity for fear of retaliation from ICE. St. Louis Public Radio was able to confirm her identity. She said that he was pulled over for not having a front license plate. The fiance told police detained Lopez Delara after he wasn't able to provide a driver's license. Remember, in the beginning of this story, I told you how hard it is to get a damn driver's license or to even renew one. An O'Fallon Police Department spokesperson confirmed that an officer discovered Lopez Delara had an active ICE detainer, which is a request by immigration officials to transfer an individual in custody to ICE during a traffic stop. The spokesperson said charges in O'Fallon are limited to municipal traffic violations and recommended reaching out to ICE regarding Lopez Delara's custody and transfer status. Lopez Delara's fiance says she spoke with him on a Wednesday morning when he was transferred to the ICE field office in downtown St. Louis. Immigration officers told her he would be transferred to the St. Genevieve County Jail around 3 p.m. It's something that you're never going to be prepared to deal with, his fiance said. What do you do when a loved one is detained like that, just after a simple traffic stop? Now, why he didn't have a driver's license, I don't know. And he's been here over 20 years. Has he been driving without a driver's license for over 20 years? I don't know. Lopez Delara's fiance said he had qualified for the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, but was unable to submit his application because he didn't finish high school for financial reasons. She said he tried to get his GED, but it was too late. Here we go. And if you listen to that, here's the cumbersome of these governmental agencies and policies that are not easy. Just to get a high school diploma or get your driver's license renewed. So by that time, the Trump administration had stopped, detained the initial process for DACA, DACA. She said, so every time that we tried to do something, it wasn't available. Mr. Victor Lopez Delara and his fiance met when they were 15 years old, and they have 2 children together. He's an avid soccer and baseball fan. He often volunteers and coaches for his nephew's baseball team in Maryland Heights. His baseball coach and kids wrote letters for him, and they're very devastated, his fiance said. Lopez Delara has been in the U.S. since arriving from Mexico when his family as a child. He's now 29 years old. He's been here for 26 years, since he was 3. Doesn't have any criminal record or anything, his fiance said. He's no threat to anybody. This is not the person that ICE is saying that they're going after at all. This is truly the complete opposite. He is no criminal or no threat to anybody. So for all you people of color that want to move out to St. Charles County, this is what this young lady is saying. She said the fiance, who is an immigration advocate, said traffic stops leading to ICE detention have become common out in St. Charles County. She said the towing company that was holding Lopez Delara's van said it's seen an influx in towed vehicles from traffic stops. Even they said that they get so many cars from O'Fallon, Missouri, daily, and that some have never been picked up because that person has already been deported. She said it's a daily thing that's happening out there in St. Charles County. I think people are being targeted unfairly, and it's happening, and they're working silently. In conclusion, Victor Lopez Delara had his day in immigration court months later. Nearly 50 letters from friends and family, plus 10 from former teachers, were submitted to the judge describing his character. Despite that, his petition to cancel deportation was denied, forcing him back to Mexico, which he hasn't lived there since he was 3, a country he hadn't lived in since he was a child. Lopez Delara has no criminal history again, only 2 traffic violations. This case drew significant attention and became part of a broader conversation about local police cooperation with ICE in the St. Louis region. What a sad story. I don't think that this person, in my personal opinion, should be the kind of person that ICE is going after. There has to be some vestibule, some tunnel or way that many of these foreign folks or these illegal immigrants can get the help and the assessment to become legal citizens within that 5 to 8 year period. Something is not working. This does not sound like a guy that should be deported. Tell me what you think. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth.